Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I feel like it's been so long since I've done one of these videos. Well, it's been a little while. So this video is actually inspired by a number of different conversations, one of which I had today with several of my colleagues at the hospital where I work. We were just, chatting it up, and one of my colleagues, he has like adult children, sons, right? And he says that one of his sons, asked him to borrow his SUV, right? A high-end, SUV. And he's thinking, no, I'm not going to let you borrow my car. His son has his own car, but it's of lesser value, right? And he wants to borrow his car so that he could take his female partner out on a date. Now, of course, I have my take on this as a woman, right? Men, y'all have y'all take on things. And I noticed that there is a trend now with men where, and I don't think this is a new trend, right? I think that there's nothing new under the sun. We've heard this before. We heard the phrase gold digger, right? Before, and I think a lot of men are deathly afraid of being taken advantage of, being used for their money, right? So I think a lot of men are on high alert for when it comes to potential gold diggers. Me, I never really understood that. Though, as a woman, it's just like, gold digger, right? And I think I made a whole video on this too several years ago relating to like gold digging what? I just don't, I don't know. Maybe because as a woman myself, like I would never be with a man for his money alone. For me, that doesn't do anything for me, right? But I guess there are women who target men who have lots of money, and then they only want that man because of his money. For me, I just don't get it. Now, I think that sometimes there is some confusion when it comes to women who have certain standards. And for most women of stature, right, we date up, hypergamy. We prefer to date men who are well established financially, who are set, who are secure, who, in the case where a person falls in love, things start to get serious, and of course you have this outlook on building a family. You want to make sure that this man can be able to provide. Given a certain relationship preference of a dynamic that for some people, including myself, like women, we prefer to be taken care of, right? So this was brought up, and I thought the conversation was so funny that I had it at my workplace that I want to kind of continue this conversation here with you guys in conjunction with this new viral post that is going around on a list of places. I believe there's 28 different places on this list that women are saying not to take them on the first date, right? So I definitely have my take on that list, and we're going to go through that list here in this video. But yeah, so I'm explaining to my colleague, right, he's really my superior at work, but I'm explaining to him that, women like to feel special, right? So I don't really see anything wrong necessarily with a man who, in his case, his son wants to borrow his car, a high-end SUV to impress his female partner, his date. Now, I don't know what level they are at in their relationship, but I'm just like, big deal. He wants to impress this girl. He was like, nah. He was like, I don't see it that way because I want to teach him that if a woman likes you, she likes you. Let her like you for who you are, not necessarily like what you can bring to the table. And I find that like to be ironic considering this whole conversation that men are having, right? And they're having unapologetically on social media about what a woman brings to the table. All right? It's just like a whole big blur, right? Because when we look at the context of gender roles, gender norms, gender expectations, traditionally, men were expected to be the breadwinners, right? To provide in a relationship. So things, of course, have changed with the backdrop of the women's rights movement, the Me Too movement. Like, men are feeling a certain kind of way in relation to women getting equal pay in a lot of different positions, women being able to work a lot of different jobs that they historically were not able to work, but they can work. And, they are competing against men, right, in these roles, in these positions that normally they would not have or traditionally they would not have stood a chance, right? So, I get it. So men, I feel like a certain sect of men, though, are like wearing their panties in that sense that, it's like, are you a man? And what really constitutes a man? And this is an open conversation, right? This is a whole dialogue that I would like to engage you all in, but it's just like, in my purview and my understanding of what a man is, and especially when it comes to my preference, I like your old school traditional man. Just a man, right? As a woman, like, if I want to date a woman or my reflection, I would date a woman. A person that wants to be taken care of. And nowadays, that's what you see in a lot of men. They have become effeminate, right? Emasculated to the extent where they expect a woman to pay on the first date, 50-50. They expect a woman to show up with roses on the first day, right? Like a woman is looking for roses and nice things, and the man to hold the door. And these men, a lot of men, not saying you watching this, but there are men who are expecting women to do the things that traditionally, historically, a man would do. They are expecting these things. It's just like, okay, I want to be pampered too, right? And it's just like, hold on, I think it just creates a lot of confusion. So in my defense, I was, telling my colleague at work today when we're having a conversation, I'm just like, women like to feel special. And I say, did you see that list? Now, a lot of y'all by now have already seen that list, right? Where women have compiled this list of 28 different places that they prefer not to go. I'm like, big deal. Right? And I think, of course, different people will get triggered based on their tax bracket, right? Specifically men. When you're looking at like your tax bracket and where you fall in relation to your ego, your self-esteem or lack thereof, I understand how some men will get triggered, will begin to feel a certain kind of way, right? But I am strongly convinced that a man who stands firm in who he is, a man that is well established, that little is ain't nothing to him, right? And it reminded me of a date that I went on. I'm trying to recall the actual year. I think it was back in 2018, 2019, something like that. Maybe 2018, where I was living in Los Angeles, California, where I was completing my doctoral studies, right? And of course, I was on a dating app. I've had my share of dating experiences. I can write a whole volume of books, right, related to my experiences with dating. And I was on the app. I had met this guy based in New York City. And of course, I was wanting to be spontaneous, right, and explore and see what's out there. And so he himself was like, we were both kind of in the same boat in the situation where we both were single. We both were single for the holidays, right? And feeling a little adventurous and spontaneous. And so he had invited me to come hang out with him, to spend the Christmas holidays with him. Granted, we had, had some back and forth over the phone. We were talking on the phone for several weeks, and he was just like, hey, the holidays is coming up. Would you like to come spend it with me, right? And I've shared this story before. And I look back and I think it's kind of funny, you know, when I reflect upon it, though I'm sure he didn't think it was funny, but it definitely ties into this whole idea of, for some men, they feel like, oh, they're taken advantage of, oh, she's a gold digger, or this and that. But it's just like, no, when you begin to really pull back the layers and look at the motivations behind, the true motivations really of what drives like women like myself, oftentimes it ain't got shit to do with money. It's something much deeper than that. And so, you know, this was kind of like on the spot invitation. He was like, you know, come spend the holidays with me. I'm like, cool. I wasn't doing anything. I'm excited, right? I'm motivated. I'm feeling it. And so he booked the trip at the last minute. And everybody knows when you book a flight at the last minute, it's like the most expensive prices. I'm like, all right. He's willing to pay for it. He booked it round trip. Came up to like $1,000. He went all out. Like, and I do pride him in his efforts, right? Of being able to plan a date. He didn't get my input necessarily in planning that date. So he nailed that shit though, because I think that can be pretty complicated. But he went up above and beyond the call of duty for planning this date. And especially it was kind of like a blind date, given we had never met each other in person. We had been, you know, talking on the phone for several weeks, maybe, probably about 6 weeks at that time. We had done video chat, you know, all the jazz, right? And I landed in New York at JFK. Of course, that's really the only airport that I fly out of and into. And I get there, and I remember the timing was early. I remember because I beat him to the punch. Like I landed before he actually had arrived to pick me up. So essentially I was waiting about 10 minutes, and that for me, I was like, okay. But it wasn't really his fault because the flight was early. The pilot, he was gunning it right in the air. So landed, let him know I was there. He was like, all right, I'm like 10 minutes away. He pulled up in his SUV, got out his car. I mean, just very gentleman-like, right? Just got out his car. He had a bouquet of roses or flowers. I don't know what kind of flowers, but yeah. He came prepared, right? Just to impress, really making an effort to put on his best impression. And I was like, okay, like, you know, no disappointment, you know, open the door, help me with my, like, doing things that a man should do without being told, right? And I know a lot of women watching this video can relate that a lot of men just, so he went all out. Make a long story short, he had booked reservations at this high-end restaurant not downtown, but it's like Midtown Manhattan, in Times Square, the rotating restaurant. I think it's the Marriott Marquis or something like that, but it gives you like a 360 view of Manhattan. Really nice, like food, just immaculate, right? Just to die for. It had like this like hors d'oeuvres kind of bar where you could like, you know, sample different finger foods and things like that. And it had like this chocolate fountain. This was like the preliminary, you know, food before we actually got the main dish. So he had spent a decent amount of money. And when we came down to actually sit down for our dinner, I took pictures and all. I got pictures I posted on my Facebook page. And I'm just like taking it in, right? Just soaking it in. Just like, damn, this is nice. He was African from Ivory Coast. And, you know, I'm just enjoying the moment. And then I had asked him, like, how much did you spend for this? He's like, no, you know, don't worry about that. I'm like, no, I want to know, like, how much you spend for this date. And turns out, altogether, he said like $600-700, but he said like it was nothing, right? And granted, this is New York City. Anybody know, like, you live in New York, you're gonna come out the pocket, right? Even if you're not trying to come out the pocket, you're gonna come out the pocket for entertainment, for food, whatever the case may be. And so really by comparison, like relatively speaking, $600 is nothing, right? It's water under the bridge. But, for me, like I had never gone on a date, of that caliber before. Honestly, I have not. I've been to some really nice dates, but I'm like, damn, we talking about $125 a plate for salmon. Yeah, I'm just like, damn. And so, yeah, I was like, okay, I was impressed. And then following, he took me to his office. He's an entrepreneur, so he has his office on Wall Street. Just like, damn, the whole dream, right? What more can you ask for? Office on Wall Street. He took me there, went there because he is in the fashion industry, and he allowed me to pick out some pieces that I like, right? That fit me. And I did. It was some dresses, some West African style, Ivory Coast style dresses. I still have them to this day. And I'm just like, damn, okay. It just keeps getting better. And then from there, the plan was to go to his house. He invited me to his house. I'm just like, okay. But then it's like things took a turn for the worse, right? And I'm going to try to be brief with this. And so from there, it was just like, I felt like he started out really high. And then boom, like it just dropped. That's what it was. Like it started real high, dotting out his I's, crossing on his T's, just to perfection when it came to impressing, right? And then I felt like after that, he just was slacking and got lazy and just wasn't really investing the amount of effort that he did when it came to the first date. So in my conversation today with my colleagues, it was like, yeah, that's the mistake right there. You went too hard, and then a woman, you set the bar really high, and then a woman's going to continue to expect that going forward. I'm like, yeah, I kind of did not really expect him to dish out that amount of money on various dates that we're going to go on after that first date. But no, I did expect him to put in effort. I thought he's got real lazy. Turns out, especially when it came down to intimacy, like, yes, we had sex, but the sex wasn't sexing like that. For me, that's a major fucking deal breaker. So it kind of goes into like what I prefer, right? A lot of women, yeah, they may put a lot of stock in when it comes to how much money a guy may spend, or if he's buying her Louis bags and all like that. None of that shit matters, right? I'm not big on name brands, especially European brands. That, like, as an Afro-centric person who prides myself in just being a Pan-African and really immersing myself into African, like, I'm not really swayed by that, right? The European brands or whatever, or the whatever Italian brands, like, that's not me. I know it is for some other people, but that's just not my thing. And so for me, I think it boils down to love language. And my love language is spending quality time. I have, I think, multiple love languages, but it's important that if I am with a guy, right, and the intent is for us to be together to build something substantial that turns into a serious long-term relationship, or perhaps even in marriage, like, yeah, quality time, I think, communicates a lot more than how much a person can spend on the first date. And quality time looks a certain way for me. It's not just, okay, we're together, which we were. Like, we were physically together because I was, like, in his world, right, at his space. But the things that we were doing together while we were together physically, like, I felt like, now he's wasting my time. And to the point, this is a whole freaking, I did a whole separate video on this, but I was so disgusted. And I was so annoyed because I'm like, we're getting to know each other. So for me, if I'm giving you my attention, my undivided attention, like, I expect the same in return. And the thing is, like, a lot of men, what I notice, like, they want a woman's undivided attention. They don't want you, like, if you're on a date, right, and you're in their presence, they don't want you on your phone talking to this person and that person and that person. They want you there, present. But I felt like you're not reciprocating that. And we're going to have a problem. And I have no issue letting a person know, like, there's a problem here, right? And so that was the case, like, you know, and I wasn't hung up on that because, like, he was on the phone. You know, that's what Africans do. Of course, they're, like, very family-oriented, friend-oriented. Their friends are their family, right? So he's inviting me to spend time with his people. I wasn't really feeling that, right? Granted, I did it for a couple times. Like, I went out to his friend's place, his guy friend, and, you know, they're married, he's married or whatever. They cook, his wife cooked, you know, it's like, you know, inviting me into his world. And I'm just like, I'm a different personality. I guess being like, you have to really know me to know me, right? Like, for me, I like to just be alone. I feel very comfortable in my own skin, just being by myself. And a lot of people, they can't really wrap their minds around it. Like, Danielle, like, when you go to the movies, you going by yourself? Yes. When you go to this event, you going by yourself? Yes. I prefer to be alone. So when you're, like, asking me to, you know, oh, come on, you know, my best friend and his wife wants to meet you, like, I feel so overwhelmed. I feel like, okay, now I gotta fucking perform, right? When I really can care less about being around people like that. They had a little kid, and the little kid was like all in my fucking face, and I don't want to play, and like I'm gonna put on a fucking show. Like, I feel so uncomfortable with having to do that. And then it's like New Year's came around, the New Year's Eve came around, right? And then he's like, well, you know, I have more friends and family. They want to meet you, and, you know, can you come along? And I always do this. This is like, you know, a tradition where, you know, I go hang with them on New Year's and we bring in the New Year's together. And I'm just like, you know what? If you're going to go, you can go. I'm going to stay here. You know what this motherfucker did? He went. I was like, so that shit pissed me the fuck off. So I was like, oh, well, you doing you, huh? So I'm definitely gonna do me, right? And did I fucking do me? Yeah, I did me so much to the point where I found me some new dick. Yeah, I found me some fucking new dick. Anaconda dick. Better dick than what he brought to the fucking table. And I think, and I was saying to my colleague at work, I was like, this motherfucker, no wonder he was terrible in bed. No wonder he went all out, thinking that was going to be enough. Thinking that, oh yeah, I got her, right? Because he spent a nice little tag on the first date. He felt like I was hooked, and I kind of wild. I'm like, okay, yeah, you got me, but that's not enough. Like, that's not it. If anything, I would rather you keep that of what he spent and give me quality time. That's something that is immeasurable in my book. So, and spending quality time and really getting to know me and us getting to know each other and us building, for me, that's what I would have preferred on top of, okay, good sex, because I'm a sexual being. Now, granted, you know, I've been on my whole sabbatical when I actually have been abstinent since 2021, January 2020. So this coming January, 2024 will make, 3 years? 3 years of no sex. So I have my periods where I definitely practice abstinence or celibacy. But when I find me a partner, I go all out. I go all in, and I, like to have good sex. And I'm just like, to me, that is a deal breaker. I said, that is a free. Like, maybe I'm selfish. And my colleague was like, no, you're not selfish. Like, that's just one of your deal breakers, right? And you stuck to it. I'm like, yeah, you got him right. I don't think nothing can compensate for bad sex when it comes to my book. Mm-mm. And I think I saw a post where it's like, ladies, do you prefer a man with a good dick and to be broke, or rich and bad sex? And it's just like, damn, to be honest, like, the thing is, if a person is broke, right, but they got good dick, that can be fixed. But if it's the other way around, you got money, but you got bad like that, you really can't really fix, especially if that shit ain't really hitting right, if there's something going on. And for him, it was medical, right? Where he had an injury when he first moved to New York. I guess he thought that this was his hometown where he came from in Ivory Coast, and people are respectful towards the pedestrians. They ain't, you don't give a fuck here, right? So he crossed the street, he got hit. And then that caused a back injury where periodically he experiences like a intense, unbearable pain, and that to the point where he has to like get a fucking injection in his back here and there when he has like severe pain. I'm just like, it's just too much. Like, first of all, you didn't even tell me you have fucking pain. Like, you didn't tell me you got this medical issue. Now here I am, you know, like it was, to me, it was just annoying. It was just so disappointing. And I was just so disgusted. And I felt like I was so sexually frustrated. Like, I can't. And the more I looked at him, and the more that he didn't understand, he just looking at me. We're sitting there like in his place, and I was just like, am I being fucking pranked? Like, what the hell is this? I mean, he was a good guy. Like, you know, all else aside, you know, being an entrepreneur, owning his own business, being, you know, well off financially. He was in the process of buying a house and wanted to include me in certain decision making related to the house purchase. And yeah, I threw all that away because the sex, I wasn't satisfied. So let's get into this list real quick. I just wasn't. It's just like it goes back to what I prefer, right? And I come across, of course I come across a lot of men, and I feel like they just miss me, right? If only I could come across that man that sees me and understands and just like, yeah, like we're perfect match. And guys, they ask me this all the time, like, what's a beautiful woman like you, successful, educated, all this, established, doing single? And it's just like, despite what it looks like, I like a dominant alpha man. You got to bring that alpha energy. I cannot dominate you. Even if I do, you have to overpower me and dominate me. It doesn't mean in an aggressive way. It just means like you got to outsmart me, right? You got to be 10 times quicker and 10 steps ahead of me when it comes to things, because outside I'm not impressed. Like, I'm turned off. And that's just the way my mind works, that's the way my body, my pussy don't even get fucking wet. Listen, my pussy can't even get wet if you're a submissive beta male. It's just not going to fly. You can't come with me with that submissive, passive, bitch nigga energy. It's not. I'm going to be turned off. I'm going to be fucking frustrated. And I'm just like, I'm ready to go. Because I can't. Because then I'm going to feel like I'm your mother. And I've been in a relationship like that, dated a guy. We were best friends, believe it or not. So I could be probably best friends with a person like that. But in terms of dating and intimacy and having a genuine interest and romantic interest in you, it is not going to fly. I make videos on cuckolding and alternative sexual relationships. And of course, it attracts a lot of beta men. And y'all really somehow have convinced yourself in a delusional way to think that I am interested in y'all. And I'm like, no, I can talk about these dynamics in relationships like this, but no, I'm not interested in you. I'm like, please, can I be your submissive? I have men wanting to pay me. Like, I'm not interested. Don't waste your time. But anyway, yeah. That didn't work out, so yeah, I'm telling the truth, you guys. I went with the big dick. The anaconda, as I refer to it. Funny enough, the anaconda guy, somehow, I don't really tell guys like my social media, but he found me. He was just like, and I posted, I was like, yeah, it's my anaconda friend. He actually, this motherfucker found my shit. And I guess he felt a sense of accomplishment. But it's always something. So the anaconda motherfucker was super religious, and I think that to me is a confusing thing, right? When I come across Muslims, and I love my Africans, right? But it's just like, nigga, I'm all in or we all out. All of that, I'm scared to bust in you, and I'm praying to fucking Allah and all this bullshit. Nigga, we in the bed, we fucking, okay? And we fucking, then let's go all in. Don't sit up here and waste my goddamn time. I'm fucking spread ego and you act like you like, what the fuck? You got a big nigga, big fucking energy, yo. Not just energy, but real meaty, long, thick dick. Just luscious, right? I'm like, God damn. Actually, his dick was really too big. So, yeah, that shit didn't work out. But that was a gynecologist guy. And, yeah, and I ended up leaving the other guy who went all out and spent to create this whole lavish experience for my ass. I ended up, while I was fucking at his place making plans, and that's how I met the fucking anaconda nigga. I'm like, fuck, he thought I was joking. I was like, yo, I'm about to leave. He was like, where are you going? I am going to somewhere else, to somebody else's place, because this clearly is not it over here. Right? And yeah, it was other stuff too. Like, it came around to me doing laundry because I don't like to travel with dirty laundry. And I was getting ready to head back to LA. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do my laundry. He was like, all right, do mine too. And I'm like, I don't mind. I think I offered actually to do his. Like, I'll do yours. Me just trying to be kind. And then, I don't even want to get into this, but like, yeah, even me just kind of recapping this experience at my workplace and having this discussion, I was just like starting to boil over. I can feel the fire burning. Like I was like, I was about to get mad all over again. I don't even know if I want to tell this part of the fucking story with the whole laundromat experience, but we went to the laundromat to do our fucking laundries. I wanted to go ahead and be in and out with it. And his ass was like, oh, well, he had this fucking coat and he was like, it's a certain way. And he was trying to tell me how to fucking do the fucking laundry. It was like, well, he's telling me that his coat was going to burn. I'm just like putting all the shit in there together. But he was just like, oh, no. I'm like, listen, you knew that shit was going to fucking burn before I got them put in there. Why didn't you take this shit out? Right? I know what time to put on my fucking clothes. So I'm washing my shit with your shit. Then, if you knew that your clothes got special instructions, just go ahead and take the shit out. He sit there and watch me put his shit in there, knowing that his shit, like knowing he got special fucking material on it. And him being passive with his fucking passive aggressive really personality, he just sit there and acquiesced and just let me fucking boss shit. So the shit went in the dryer with mine. His fucking coat, which the coat was probably how many years old? Who knows, right? And then he take it out. He was like, see, I told you. I'm like, yo, that shit pissed me the fuck. I'll say, you know what? I'll buy you a fucking, you want to make I'll buy you a fucking another coat. He's like, no, don't worry about it. And so he fucking doing some shit to it to make it okay. But I'm just like, yo, that, come on, turn off. And I know it's just me. And I've said this, like, yo, it's me and my other coworker. Because when I was saying how, the issue that I had where he had the whole, undiscovered back. Well, I didn't know. Of course, he knew that his fucking back was fucked up and it affected his sexual ability, right? It made him fucking really, he was kind of sexual. He could have sex. It wasn't completely impotent, but the shit wouldn't hit. Not to my standard. And so, of course, that made me frustrated, and dick was whack. And then my colleague ever was like, why you just ain't give him a back rub? I'm like, and then my other coworker, the social worker, she's just like, Dr. Lee ain't giving no man no fucking back rub. She said it like sarcastically, but I'm like, yo, she said it in a way of, I'm like, damn, she read my ass. I couldn't really laugh because I'm just like, she was like, she ain't taking care of no man. That's probably why I'm fucking single. You goddamn right, I'm not taking care of no fucking man. If anything, it's the other way around. My man's taking care of me. Okay. Okay. But anyway, I ain't sucking no dick. You right. That shit ain't going in my fucking mouth. And I don't expect him to give me no fucking, oral either. Right? To me, that's disgusting. It's the most disgusting thing. I get turned on by other things. I get turned on by domination. I like to get tied up and shit like that. That's what I like. But anyway, so here is the list, right? Now let's go through this list really quick. It's 28 places, many of which I've been to before. And I'm just going to say yay or nay if I will go. Number one, starting with the Cheesecake Factory. I think the list came in response to a woman who actually stated very clearly that that's not a place she wants to go. I think she actually was taken on a date to the Cheesecake Factory, right? If I recall correctly. And she refused to get out the car. She was like, hell no. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. But the Cheesecake Factory, I've been there. Me from Florida. And I think I first went there in Florida, where I'm from. It's not bad, but that's the thing. When you are exposed to higher quality things, no matter what it is, if it's a hotel experience or if it's a restaurant experience or what have you, right? Clothing. When you, like people say, when you ride first class for the first time, like, ain't no way you can go back to the back of the plane. It's just it's just something it's activated, I think, in your DNA. And it tells you, yo, you deserve quality. This is who you are, right? And so to subjugate yourself to anything less than is a slap in the face, right? It's degrading. It's self-degrading. It's self-deprecating. It's like, it's you causing harm in a sense to yourself, right? You not appreciating and taking care of yourself when you downgrade. And a lot of people from the outside looking in or having different perspectives may say, well, you have to be humble and don't forget where you come from and all of that. But it's always two sides to a coin. Yeah, one can say, okay, don't forget where you come from, but one can say, no, how about you remember who you are? And when you know who you are, you know that you are worthy of great things, quality things. And then when you truly know, like when we go to these restaurants, right, and you know like what's in the food, how the food is made, like when you know better, my sisters always tell me this, like, you know better, you do better. And that shit is facts. When you know better, you don't settle. And your behavior reflects your knowing. So yeah, Cheesecake Factory used to be popping. The cheesecakes was bomb. I've been there several times, even my best friend, me and him went there. But, it's not like, if you really want to go on a date and, women talk just like men talk, right? To their homies, to our girls, and talk about, me bragging about, the date. Like, it's not a place, he took me to the cheese. It's not nothing to brag about. They'll be like, okay. If anything, you won't even mention that you went to the Cheesecake Factory. You may say, okay, went on a date. There's nothing to brag about, right? And we live in a completely different day and age where obviously everything is heightened, right, on social media, and people kind of take to social media for advice, to make social comparisons, to determine, okay, where they are in life, where they should be, where they want to be, so forth. So yeah, Applebee's, these are like your basic places, especially for the working individual. Now, when you look at, let's say we were to survey most people watching this video, like how much do you make? What is your income, right? Now, a lot of people in New York, we're in the 6-figure category. So it affords you, when you reach a certain tax bracket, right, level of income, it affords you a certain quality of life. And that quality of life, I feel like it can't be undermined by going to these average or less than average places, right? The food is going to taste different on your tongue. It's not the same. Applebee's. Nah, Chili's, Chipotle. Like, and what gets me is like even the comments from men, right, in response to this post or meme that has been shared many times on social media, and they have the nerve to like, oh, y'all won't go to those places. But you look at actually some of the places on the list, like, come on, yo, Chipotle used to be the shit. A lot of these places have changed their ingredients, right? And I ordered Chipotle actually a couple weeks ago, and I threw that shit in the trash. It was disgusting. I live here in Upper East Side, Manhattan. And I ordered the barbacoa meat, right? And it usually have like a little tang to it, kind of spicy. But like just looking at the way they make it, and it just I felt like this is like slop. That's just what I feel like, yo. When I got home, and it looked like it was just so sloppy. And I'm eating it, and I got so fucking annoyed because when I took a bite, it's just like the shit just kind of fell apart. And as it fell apart, I'm looking at the ingredients just seeping out the side of the tortilla, and I'm just like, this shit is slop. What the fuck? I was just so annoyed just with the composition of what I had in my fucking hand that I just threw that shit in the trash. I took a few bites because, of course, I was hungry. I'm like, I threw that shit in. I was so disgusted. That's Chipotle. Olive Garden used to be hidden. I had a roommate whose boyfriend at the time, this was back in college, he worked at Olive Garden, and by him working there, he used to hook us up with some free shit. Now, everybody know when you're a college student, listen, food is food, right? Because you broke, you know what I'm saying? So he used to come home, hook us up with the Olive Garden, and like, what you want? And I would get like the salad with chicken in it. Oh my God, like that shit was bomb. I don't know what it tastes like now, but back then it was hitting for something. And they pasta's alright, but will I be impressed if a guy say I'm taking you to Olive Garden? Because this is the thing. It's like, especially if you are within a certain tax bracket, and for like myself, like I am single, so I take of course, I'm not gonna just stop doing things because I'm by myself. Hell no. If anything, I go places regardless. I said that earlier. And so I go out to eat. It's one of my favorite pastimes, just taste testing different restaurants. And I take myself, like my bill be pretty decent, the places I go. And I'm like, I like nice cuisines. So for a guy taking me out on a date, yes, of course, my preferred love language is quality time. But yeah, I like nice shit, you know? That's just, it ain't even about you trying to impress me with the choice of where we're eating. It's just about if I'm going to go out to eat, I want some food that I like. It ain't about you trying to impress me. I feel like people get the lines a little bit blurred and make it about them or, you know, them trying to impress a woman. Sometimes it ain't about that. It's just about how she like nice shit. She want to make sure that the money is well spent on food that she's going to enjoy and eat. The movies, yeah, like I ain't feeling the movies. And this is the thing, I don't know if it could be on this list, but guys annoy me when they were like, oh, let's go out for drinks. Let's go to a bar, or let's go to grab some coffee. Number one, I don't drink coffee. And yes, this is some South African red wine that I'm sipping here. I like my wine, but is it a thing that I want to do on a first date? Hell no, I don't know your motherfucking ass. I'm not getting drunk with somebody I do not know. I don't care what caliber of a man you are. I want to make sure that I am clear-headed, right? Clear thinking, and with sharp acuity, right? In terms of my mental processes. I am not about to sit up here and get drunk. No, I don't do that. Now, if we have, you know, get to know each other, it's a different story, right? We get to know each other and I feel comfortable. And yes, of course, I've had some drinks, right, on a first date. But that's in conjunction with eating, right? For some guys, they be like, oh, let's go out and get some drinks. And they ain't mention nothing about no damn food. Nah, turn off, right? And the conversation ends there. Just like, I feel like the way men are bred, they're just bred differently nowadays. They're just different than men of the past. They just are. And it annoys me. So much to the point where, yeah, I choose to be single. Because it's that frustrating, right? Just like, damn, can I build a man? No, hell no, I ain't building no fucking man. The movies, yeah, the movies is definitely not. Granted, I'm a movie goer, right? I'm a movie film connoisseur. However, when it comes to a first date, the movies definitely ain't it, because how you can really get to know a person from that interaction, right? Like it's not much space, an opportunity to really get to know and to build, right, with a person at a movie theater when your focus is on the screen. I want my focus to be on this person and vice versa, right? And us getting to know each other. The movies ain't it, definitely loud places. I be trying to tell guys, like, I'm gonna go nowhere loud, which is kind of difficult to find a quiet place in New York City. There are quiet places, though, that exist. I found them, too. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta keep this to myself, right? Because you don't want to let the cat out the bag and let too many people know about these hidden delicacies. But, yeah, the movies, nah. The house, funny enough, believe it or not, up until this point, I've said kind of to the Cheesecake Factory, same thing for Applebee's, Chili's, Chipotle, hell, fuck no. Olive Garden, the movies, nah. But number 7 is house. Oddly enough, I don't know, I may be different. But for me, my mind thinks differently. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't say that's a no-go or off-limit place to go, even for a first date. Why? Because I can learn so much about a person. Just gonna go, hold on. Just because I go to your house don't mean we fucking. Now we are, that's my choice. Listen, that's my choice. But I feel like I can learn so much about a person just by going to their house. Right? And listen, if we on a first date, like this is the point where, number one, you done pass a lot of hoops with me, because it's not easy for me. It's not easy for a guy with me when it comes to, first of all, even get my phone number from a dating app and continuing a conversation on the phone. Because oftentimes I can be easily turned off. I'm like, nah, I ain't interested. I'll tell a guy, like, nah. Lose my fucking number or I'll block his ass. That's it, right? So for me to even make it to your house, I mean that you done passed a lot of steps, right? You done passed the whole visual test where we done did video chat. I'm like, all right, you passed that, the eye test. But yeah, I've been on first dates. I've been to a guy house. Like I said, don't mean we fucking, but if we do, then yeah, maybe because I just want some fucking dick, right? Women like sex just as much as men like sex, right? And especially, shit, if I ain't had none by choice in a long time and I'm feeling myself like shit. But yeah, you gotta come with it. I don't want to be disappointed. That's the reason why I maintain my abstinence for as long as I have, going on 3 years, because I just don't want to be disappointed. And a lot of men do be disappointed. They lacking down there. Yeah. But the house, yeah. And, some guys be having some nice little spots out here in New York, just like, and this is the thing, I feel like it's another test too. Now, granted, you got a lot of guys that they don't give a fuck, okay? They invite any kind of woman up in their house, right? So I was going to say, like, that's a test to see, okay, how serious he is when it comes to moving forward with you. Like, if he's willing to bring you to his place of residence, like you got his whole address, right? If he got some sense, right, and he thinking clearly, I feel like that is a test. Like, okay, he might be, serious about moving forward. But like I said, on another note, a lot of men, they be inviting all kind of motherfuckers to their house. So it's not that their house is a place that they hold to be sacred. For me, mine is. So anybody I've been up at him. I mean, guys I've dated, they have asked me, "Oh, can I go to your place?" Hell no. Hell no. You don't pass that motherfucking test, come with my shit. But yeah. Your house in this list refers to the guy's house for me, not my house. Your ass ain't coming up to him. Any fast food chain, depending on what it is. Some fast food chains got good shit. Buffalo Wild Wings. You know, I love me some wings though. So yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings ain't necessarily bad. Buffalo Wild Wings, hold on, that's the one that got the alcohol too. So it might pass. It ain't too bad for a first date. Cause I'm from the South, so of course your girl loves some chicken. Shit, motherfucking place got some good ass chicken. Hey, you might have your foot in the door. Wingstop got some good shit too. They got some good flavors. Red Lobster. Red Lobster kind of fell off though. Them biscuits ain't hitting like they used to. Like them biscuits used to be buttered up. Now your ass will damn near choke on them goddamn biscuits. A buffet. I don't really do buffets like that. IHOP, hell, fuck no. Denny's, hell, fuck no. The gym for a first date, that's different though. I like different shit. I don't know. Actually, I probably would do the gym. Because I feel like that means he's valuing his health and mine to invite me to come to the gym. So I probably would do the gym on the first date. Church, nah, I don't do church. Simply because I am completely detached from that indoctrination of religion, traditional religion. Church ain't it. Starbucks, I don't drink coffee. 18 coffee dates, I don't drink coffee. Ice cream dates, if that's for dessert, then okay. After the main course, and we go to ice cream place. I'm not really big on ice cream though. Not really an ice cream person like that, but I do like my sweets too though. So it just depends on where the place at. Family function, see, families. I thought I was the only one. See, like I said in the beginning of this video, like that guy who invited me to be around like his people, and I'm just like, I don't even know you, right? Let me see if I can tolerate your ass first before you invite me to be around your family like that. Cause I just know me. I don't be in people's face like that. I just don't. Movie night? Hell no. People on my Netflix and shit. Well, I'll take that back. Because if it's like at his place, then I feel comfortable doing. I've done that several times actually. My last serious long-term relationship, actually my last one, it was my last one from 2014 to 2017. It might be my last one. Who knows? I don't know. No, I ain't gonna put that out there. But it is my last relationship that I had. It was for 3 years, 2014 and 2017. And yeah, he invited me to his place. Nice little spot in the Bronx. And we did a movie night. It was really like on some higher consciousness though. Like we saw Hidden Colors documentary. And that's who put me on to Dr. Umar Johnson. Listen, the rest is history, okay? But he definitely had an impact on me. And so I felt like it was more of like a meeting of the minds because we had some very deep seated conversations. And girl, that's ecstasy for me, right? That's like the sexual energy exchange. Like that's sex right there. Just us intertwining our minds, our thought processes, So hell yeah. I like that. That shit really turned me the fuck on, That shit set the mood. But in terms of like Netflix, I don't know. It gotta be for me. I'm a documentary style person, so people like, oh, what's your favorite Netflix show you like to binge? Well, like I ain't really on that. That ain't really my thing. I don't binge watch shows like that shit. To me, I feel like if it's not like educational, it's not beneficial. Like it really gotta be a really good show. Which funny enough, I just actually subscribed to Netflix maybe about over a month ago, and I ain't really found shit on there I like. I just find myself clicking, bloop bloop. I can't find shit. I may have watched maybe one or two. I can't find shit on there. So I'm like, what the fuck am I paying $7? It ain't my thing. Somewhere that requires a long drive. See, I start to kind of venture out into the adventurous aspect of who I am, right? It's a really a personality thing. So I think when it comes to like this list, I'm sure this list is not comprehensive, but it's just like, it's to each his own. And I think it's a reflection of a person's personality more so than it is a reflection of a woman being a gold digger, right? Um, and I like adventurous shit. So driving like a good distance, like being in New York City, you know, of course everything is all feels congested sometimes. And one thing I said I want to do, like in the near future, is to take some like little vacations, like throughout the state of New York. I want to explore to see what other parts New York has to offer outside of these 5 boroughs. You know, going upstate and shit. I don't know. Does New York have mountains? Going to the mountains. Hell, I'm a mountain girl. I like to climb shit. You know, hiking and things like that. So that to me would be really exciting than your traditional. And I think that's the other thing too. Women want to do something different. And doing something different, it makes them feel like, okay, I'm special. If you, because we know, right, just like men know, that you go on multiple dates with different people, right? And it's no surprise, yeah. You take women oftentimes to the same motherfucking shit, right? So the fact that, okay, a person can put thought into the date makes it worthwhile. Bowling, I ain't no bowling person. That heavy shit. Throwing the heavy shit, ain't really my thing. Nightclubs, I'm not going to say no to nightclubs. Because I do love some good music. So if they playing some really fire music and they got a good lineup, good DJ, that can set the vibe. You know, get some drinks. But of course, I have to have some food in me because I'm a foodie. I ain't going in motherfucking empty stomach and shit like that. I gotta eat. But yeah, some nightclubs. Like I went to this restaurant, which turns out it really could be a nightclub because they got a whole live DJ there playing the fire music and shit. People kind of go there for drinks, but I went there for the food. It's a place called 95 South, I think, restaurant or something like that. It's a soul food restaurant, but yeah, that was fire. So I would go there on a date. Hookah bar, I ain't really no hookah person. That shit give me a headache. I tried hookah before. Not my thing. A bar for just drinks. After we've had food, I'll be down for that. If I'm feeling you. Because I've done that before. And that shit can really heighten the experience, right? And it can really turn things up for the better. Getting some nice drinks in you, you know? Waffle House. That's like an Atlanta thing. I've eaten there so many times, but in terms of a first day, yeah, shit kind of lame. And sport events, not really a sport person, but it depends on the team that's playing. Like basketball games, it's been a minute since I've been to a basketball game, but some teams that are very competitive that, you know, got a good rank that can make shit live. But for a first date, I don't know. That'll be something different. I don't think I've ever done that before on a first date. I have went out on a date to a baseball game. That shit was so boring, to say the least. But anyway, what you guys think? I just feel like when it comes to women, for the most part, and I find it interesting how some men, they may ask a lot of questions like, oh, you know, what you like, what you don't like. And I'm just like, if you know women, you know that women just like to feel special, right? And of course, what makes me feel special may be different from what makes another woman feel special. But yeah, at our core, like we pretty much all the same, you know? I feel like it shouldn't be that hard to put a smile on a woman's face. You know, you just treat a woman with respect, like a woman, despite, you know, the kinks that she may have. And this person had wanted me to make a video about how our experiences in life, right, starting through early childhood, how that can have an impact on our preference and proclivity towards certain kinks, all right, especially in the context of BDSM. And I've talked about this before, especially with my interest in bondage, spankings. All right, but I'm about to wrap this video up. You guys go ahead and like this video. Leave your comments below, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.